We find ourselves starting from scratch, brick by brick. No path carved out for us now. The brushes.
Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiffany and in today's video we are doing part 2 of our Thanksgiving prep, and I wanted to just share with you today a little bit of how I kind of work through what we're gonna do for Thanksgiving, putting together the menu, figuring out what everybody's bringing, how many people are coming, if we have what we need, do we have what we need to serve, that kind of thing. So I'm just gonna share all of that with you today in today's video, and do not feel overwhelmed. Thanksgiving is meant to be fun and enjoyable and time spent with loved ones, sharing your appreciation for each other. And so the meal is just something to bring you guys together. It's not meant to be stressful. Stressful like the sound of my dishwasher right now, but it's not meant to be stressful. So hopefully in today's video, I can give you some tips and tricks, things that you can carry over from any regular dinner party into this beautiful, elegant Thanksgiving feast. Let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I want to talk about that I talked about last year is a Thanksgiving planner. Now the one that I purchased is from Etsy. You just print it at home. You can put it into, you know, a little 3-ring A5 planner, which is what I did last time. You can print it in any size you want. However, this year I literally just printed mine in the normal paper size because I just wanted something big that I could easily write on, and I haven't even popped this into like a binder or anything. I just want it easily accessible. I can just turn the pages nice and easily, and it has been wonderful. The great thing about a planner like this is that you can access it every year and go back and see what you did, what worked, if you had enough food. There's a little section in the back for notes that you can write down, like things from, you know, this year that you want to remember next year. Sorry, I just had a little sneezing attack. But like I was saying, writing down notes so you can remember things next year from this year, things you want to remind yourself of. And then there's the menu page. This page is so good. It's a place for you to like brain dump all the things that you're going to be eating. And then the next page after that, and I might have put these in a different order, but there is a potluck planner page, and that's if anybody else is bringing dishes. So if you are hosting Thanksgiving, obviously you probably already do this, but if you don't, definitely delegate some things. Have somebody else bring rolls, have somebody else bring a salad, have people bring things, have other people bring dessert. It's very easy to want to do all of the pieces of the meal. However, it's very overwhelming for one person to cook all of the things for, you know, everybody. That way you're just kind of sharing the love. It also does cut back on the cost of Thanksgiving because food is expensive. So making sure that other people are bringing things can be very, very helpful. So this potluck planner will allow for you to write down what other people are bringing, which is great. Or if you want to do it the other way around, you could list out all of the things that you need. And then once somebody has agreed to take those, you just give it a little check mark next to it. So if you're doing like a Friendsgiving or something like that, once you know what everybody is bringing, you can check it off, you know, that noting that that has been taken. And then there's a timeline. Now, I just sat and filled this out. This is so wonderful. It's a timeline from 1 week before down to the day of. So for 1 week before, the things that I have written down are things like finish my shopping list, shop for any shelf-stable items that I can. So, you know, cranberries, green beans, cans of, you know, mushroom soup, whatever. And then to finalize the tables, like how many seats I'm gonna need, make sure I have enough chairs. I buy the white folding chairs from Walmart. They're $20. They're not the best chair, but they're light and they're easy and they're white, so they look nice. I'll link them for you down below. They are a great chair for having like extras of if you host a lot, which we host all the time. So we try to just buy a few more every single holiday, so that way we have, you know, what we need. But just making sure we're finalizing the table setting, like making sure we have enough chairs, table room, and chafing dishes, which we're gonna talk about in a little bit, but making sure we have enough of those. 5 days before, for me, I wrote down to grocery shop for all the rest of the items, go to the liquor store, make sure that I'm stocked up on the things I need for any of our cocktails, and to finalize all of the serving dishes. So making sure that anything that isn't going in a chafing dish is gonna go in something else, that I have all of that figured out so I'm not making any last minute runs, you know, to Walmart or Target. I like to find a lot of that stuff at TJ Maxx and Home Goods. We're gonna talk about that in a minute, but making sure that I have that all figured out so last minute I'm not trying to figure it out. 2 days before, I have on here to clean all of the bathrooms, make sure that those are really, really clean, because not just your family clean, and y'all know what I mean. Like, there's clean for me and my kids and my husband, and clean for my neighbors that know me well and I see all the time, and clean for like family that I don't see all the time. Mopping and just overall cleaning. Defrosting any turkeys that need to be taken out of the freezer, and then making any cheesecakes. So I shared with you our family cheesecake recipe last year. It's my mother-in-law's recipe, it was her sister's recipe, I think it was their mom's recipe, I don't know. It's a family recipe, we love it. And I'm going to be making an adaptation of that this year. I'm gonna make a caramel apple cheesecake because I was gonna make a pumpkin pie cheesecake, but we're gonna have pumpkin pie, so didn't wanna be redundant. But you wanna make those a couple days ahead so that they have time to chill in the fridge and all that good stuff. And you're gonna hear my washing machine going, I apologize. This is a Sunday, this is real life. Like, Danny is working on a project in my family room right now. Like, there's just so much stuff going on. 1 day before, I wrote down to pre-make any desserts or sides that you can. Like, if you can pre-make your green bean casserole so that all you have to do is pop it in the oven. If you pre-make your yams, if you pre-make your mashed potatoes, all that good stuff. Do it the day before, get a lot of that stuff done. I'm gonna finalize the seating chart. Normally I just have everybody pick where they're gonna sit, but for this year I'm gonna try a seating chart and see if it just helps to kind of take out like that stress of where am I gonna sit, who am I gonna sit by? And I'm gonna kind of mix it up a little so that everybody has an opportunity to maybe talk to somebody they wouldn't normally talk to. We have a large group coming this year, so. And then finally on the day before, we're gonna move the furniture for our Halloween party. We turned our sectional and like tucked it into the corner, and I loved it. And so we're gonna do that for Thanksgiving as well. We have one big round table that can fit up to 10 people. So I'm gonna put that in my family room. I'll extend my table out, and then I do have like 2 extra rectangle tables that I could bring out if we need them. Make sure that all the chairs are out, and just kind of set out the tables. Make sure that I have a tablecloth for every one of those, and I do right now, but just double checking. And then the day of, just making sure that you get your turkey in the oven in enough time. We fry a turkey too, so making sure that that is 100% defrosted. You cannot put a frozen or semi-frozen turkey into that hot oil. It will be a bad day. So making sure that that is all the way defrosted. Baking our ham, heating up all of the sides or making ones that we couldn't before. And then first thing in the morning, I'm gonna make the sangria. I'm not gonna put in the ice, but that way it can all kind of blend and get, you know, really yummy. And then making the charcuterie board. Do not wait until the last minute to make your charcuterie board, because they take a lot longer than you think they do, especially if you're really thoughtful about where everything goes, and if you're making any kind of like meat roses or any of that stuff. Just make sure you give yourself enough time, because those things can take a long time. And I have been known to be making my charcuterie board literally like as people are walking in. So that is my timeline. Yours might look a little bit different, but it's nice to write it all out and have yourself a plan, because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right? And I just like to have a plan. So there is also a weekly planner that I'll probably use as we get closer. I'll probably use it for the day of. Set out some things for me to do every single day, break it down even more, which is great. And then there is an actual daily planner, which I think will be great for the day of. There's a shopping list, which breaks it down into different sections, and then it has little check marks to make sure you get it. So I usually order my groceries, so a list like this is great because I can pop them into the cart, check them off once I have them. But then if there's things that I want to pick myself, like my vegetables and things like that, I can do that, or my turkey. There is a recipe planner to figure out how long you need to make things ahead, or for me, what I'm gonna use this for is what it has to be cooked at and for how long. So that way when I'm mapping out like what goes into the oven when, because I only have one oven, I can figure that out. My mother-in-law only lives 8 minutes away, and so she will cook a bunch of stuff in her house too. And my sister-in-law only lives like 25 minutes away. So we'll be sharing the wealth when it comes to baking and cooking. And then there's a cooking schedule, which I love because this breaks it down from 7 o'clock in the morning down to 7:30 at night, depending on how you do things. And you can put in when things need to go into the oven and what's getting cooked when. And I think that that's really, really helpful. And then the notes page. Now there are other pages that go in this that I did not print. There's a lot of other pages. I only printed the ones that I need and that are helpful for me. And like I said, I didn't bind it. I didn't put it in anything. It's just easy for me to have this and be able to just, you know, flip the pages, take one with me to the store, whatever. I just find that to be really, really convenient and helpful. And I like it. So let's talk about some other things that I'm using to help me plan. So I think my biggest struggle when I first hosted Thanksgiving, which was last year, it was my first time. My first struggle was, how much of everything do I make, right? And when you're just bringing a dish to someone else's house, you make a ton of it because it's just one dish. And so you make a whole lot. And then there ends up being 17,000 things of leftovers, which is great. My family can eat Thanksgiving leftovers for about 2 days and then everybody's just over it. So I instead went onto Pinterest and they have so many adorable like graphics and images that you can use to help you figure out what you need and how much to make for each person. So this adorable image here, I ended up printing, and it's how much to serve for Thanksgiving, and it goes from 5 people up to 20 people, and then you can go up from there if you need to. But I thought that this was really, really helpful. So save this to your phone, pin it on your Pinterest. If you're not following me on Pinterest, make sure you do at Charlotte Grove Farmhouse. But I think that this is so very helpful. So it shows you, you know, how much you need of an appetizer, side dish, salad, rolls, soups, gravy, turkey, desserts, and wine, right? And this is not obviously an end-all be-all, and every person eats differently. You can't, that's the problem, right? You can't know for certain how much food somebody's gonna eat. I see it in my own family. I'll make a meal and I'll feel like it didn't feed everybody. Everybody was still hungry. The next day I make it, you know, next time I make it, I double it. 3 people don't eat it that night. It never fails. You never know how much people are going to eat. So just know that this is not a perfect science. You're just gonna have to, you know, try, and if they don't all eat it, then you'll have leftovers. You can always donate it somewhere. But I find I used this last year and this was incredibly helpful. And there's just gonna be things you make a ton of. My mother-in-law makes like, I don't know, 20 pounds of mashed potatoes. Like her mashed potato, it fits in a giant chafing dish and like it's overflowing. There's so much mashed potatoes. And remember that the more dishes you have, the less of each you need, because everybody's gonna want a little bit of everything. And so if you have 15 sides, don't make a whole lot for 15 sides, make a little bit. So take not only how many people you have, but how many of the things you're going to have. For potatoes, we usually do mashed potatoes, and my mother-in-law makes potatoes au gratin, and so we don't need 20 pounds of mashed potatoes, but she's so used to making that many. So that is, like I said, this is a great graphic that I use to help me figure out how much I need. There's all kinds of other graphics on Pinterest. Does it say who this one is by? Everyday Moments, maybe? I think that's who, no. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know who made this, but if I find it when I'm editing, I'll put it down here at the bottom, but I'm not sure. But it's on my Pinterest under Thanksgiving, and it's really, really great. So another thing you can do ahead of time before Thanksgiving is make your playlist. So however you use music, we use Amazon Music, and you can make a playlist ahead of time. I have a running playlist called Dinner Time that I literally just, every time I hear a song that I'm like, oh, this would be nice in the background while having dinner, I just plop it on there. And it has all kinds of music, some lyrics, some no lyrics, but you know, just having, now there are like Thanksgiving Day playlists that you can play on Amazon Music. I'm sure there are on Spotify. And I'm sure that you could just, you know, play a CD or something like that. But just if you want a nice curated playlist that plays a little bit of something for everyone, which is what I try to do, some like soft 70s, some, you know, fun but not super loud 80s and 90s, and then of course like some soft pop music. I always throw in jazz, and then my favorite to listen to in the house, like when we're just hanging out, is lo-fi music. It's what I play in my videos, and it's just so relaxing. It's like a mix of jazz meets hip hop. I don't know, it's just amazing. So creating a playlist that's going to set the mood, it's gonna let everybody hear a little something that they like. It's not going to overpower the conversation. That's why I never play music with lyrics in my songs, because I don't like to listen to two people talking at once. That's hard for me, that it overstimulates my brain. So I try to not have music that's like really overstimulating when we're all trying to have conversations. So keep that in mind. You could even make two playlists, one for dinner that doesn't have a lot, one for later that maybe has a little bit more, you know, when you're eating dessert or having coffee. Up to you, just a couple of tips, but music can really change the vibe of a space. So making sure that you are thoughtful in what you're playing. Don't have it be silent because that could get awkward, and you know, you can set the tone in your home with music. I always have ours playing, and it really does make a difference. So in my first Thanksgiving video where we talked about the tablescape, I showed you guys the butcher paper that I plan to use to cover my countertops. This is what I'm gonna put down when I am putting out the buffet. So there's multiple ways of how you can serve your food. You can put it down the table. If it was just like 6 or 7 of us, well, it'll never just be 6 of us, but if it were just us and like my in-laws, I'd put the food down the center of the table, not a problem. But because there's gonna be a lot of people, I wanna have a beautiful tablescape. I am planning to set up a buffet here in my kitchen on my island. So that's what I'll be using the butcher paper for. It doesn't only act as protection for my white countertops, but it also just looks really pretty. And I just think that it, you know, just adds a really fun, like different touch for the meal. The other thing that I do, I found this picture several years ago that has this, I don't know why I'm showing you that. I can just pop it up here. This picture right here, I found probably 10 years ago when I first got on Pinterest. This was one of my first pins, and I loved this picture. It's so cozy. And so I found a Happy Thanksgiving sign last year at Michael's, and I hung it here above my island. I'm gonna do that again. And I have lots of fall stems like this, and I also have like fall garland that I'm gonna put out as well. I just feel like the more fall garland, the more fall stuff you have out on Thanksgiving, the more, you know, cozy and Hallmark movie it feels. So that is what I'm gonna do. Like I said, I use this picture as a like jumping off point. I like to have candles everywhere. It's just such a good, warm and inviting space, and I'm super, super excited. The other thing too that I meant to mention when we were talking about music is there's a lot of people that love to watch football on Thanksgiving. I like to have it on. I don't really watch it. I know that my family loves it, so we'll put it on and then I'll mute it. So you're not hearing it, you're hearing the playlist, but you can still watch it, which I'm sure a ton of you do anyway. That's, you know, it's lots of fun. So I have my planner over here that I wrote down everything I wanted to talk about in this video. So I'm just highlighting and crossing things off as I finish. So I want to talk to you really quickly about our drink plan. So like I mentioned, oh, my washing machine's done. Like I mentioned, we're gonna do a fall sangria. I will link the recipe down below. It's got like apple cider and brandy and wine. Super good. You put like apples, I believe. I don't remember if there's oranges in it or not. I can't remember. Cinnamon sticks, super yummy, and they look really pretty. I'm also going to have just wine available. Usually people bring wine. That's like what you bring, you know, when you go to dinner somewhere, you bring the hostess a bottle of wine. I actually think I still have some left over from last year, but I'll double check. But just having, you know, wine, plenty of non-alcoholic beverages. So I'll have water. I talked to you guys in my last video about having pitchers of water. So I will use this pitcher to have ice water readily available. I'll put it on the table so that people can just fill their glasses as they eat. I've got, you know, the water here in my fridge. And then at the kiddo table, I plan to make lemonade or put it in here. The fall sangria is gonna go here in my pitcher. This is from Walmart. It was from the Better Homes and Gardens line this summer. I don't know if it's still available. If it is, I'll link it for you down below. You buy the pieces separately, so the water hyacinth bottom and then the glass top. Like I said, they're two separate pieces, but they look really, really beautiful. It has like the wood top, and I love that. And then just having some soda, like my father-in-law will drink soda, just having that available for the kiddos, probably like a liter of, or 2 liter of Coke and like a 2 liter of Sprite for the people who want to drink that. So that is our plan for drinks. So let's talk really quickly now about our food menu and what we're going to be making. Now, we probably have a very basic, traditional Thanksgiving meal. I know Thanksgiving looks different in everyone's homes, and you know, what you make in your homes may be very different than what we make in ours. And that's the beauty of Thanksgiving, and that's what's fun about going to other people's Thanksgiving or having a Friendsgiving. I went to one probably, I don't know, 10 years ago, where we had everybody bring a dish that was like their family's like staple dish, you know what I mean? And that was really fun. So for our appetizers, we're gonna have a charcuterie board. My mother and father-in-law have always started their Thanksgiving meal with shrimp cocktails, so we'll be doing that. And then I'll also have a cranberry salsa. Cranberry salsa is so good, you guys. I make it for Christmas too, but it's literally fresh cranberries that you put in your food processor and, you know, mince them up, and then you add in a little bit of jalapeno, lime juice, salt, pepper, and then you can eat it just like that with tortilla chips, or you can put it over cream cheese and eat it on like crackers. It is so good, and the longer you let it sit, the better it gets. So easy to make. My mouth is, this always happens when I talk about food that I know tastes good. My mouth waters so hard. So I know how good this tastes, so my mouth is like raw. But it is really, really delicious, incredibly easy to make, and something fun to bring if you're going to a holiday party or somebody else's Thanksgiving. This is also really nice on your charcuterie board, and that's what I plan to do, is put it on the charcuterie board itself. And then if I remember correctly, I think one of our guests last year brought an appetizer, maybe like a cheese pumpkin, which are always nice. So, you know, that's what we plan to do. For our main course, we're gonna have a fried turkey and a regular turkey, as well as a honey baked ham. My family loves ham, I love ham. I'm not usually a turkey person, but last year was our first year frying a turkey, and let me tell you, it was a game changer. It was so good. So I'm really looking forward to that. For our side dishes, we're gonna do, I'll be making green bean casserole, as well as yams, like candied yams. I make a delicious creamed corn, which this is a recipe I learned from my best friend when I was in elementary school. Her mom used to make it, and I'm pretty sure she called it company corn. Leanne, if you're watching, let me know if that's what you called it. I'm pretty sure it is. If any of you make this dish, please tell me. But it is the most simplistic meal, or most simplistic side dish. So good. It's literally just canned corn, or you can use frozen corn. You can even use fresh corn. It's just corn, like sweet corn, and cream cheese and butter. So for me, I usually do like, I don't know, 3 or 4 bags, probably 4 bags of frozen corn. I'll microwave that until it's nice and soft, and then I toss in 1 stick of butter and 1 8-ounce package of cream cheese, put it back in the microwave, let that melt, and then just stir it up, and it is so creamy and delicious, you guys. My mouth is watering talking about it. Oh my gosh, it is so good. It's decadent, it's salty, it's creamy. I love it. Like, I'm one of those people that likes a little bit of everything in a bite, so I'll take like a little bit of the corn, a little bit of the gravy, and a little bit of turkey. So, so, so good. So good. And I will have that recipe for you down below. I joke because it really doesn't take much. It is just corn, and butter and cream cheese. That is literally it. It's not the healthiest, but when you only eat it once a year, it's okay. Like literally, we only make it for Thanksgiving. Sometimes we'll make it for Christmas, but not usually. My mother-in-law will be making her mashed potatoes. Now her mashed potatoes, I'm gonna tell you her secret. Don't tell her I told you. Her secret is onion and chive cream cheese. She adds that to her potatoes and it is so good. So good. They're so creamy. And then like she will blend them to get them super, super, you know, mashed and delicious and creamy. And then when we put them in the chafing dish, she melts like butter on top of it. So it's just like melted butter on top of the mashed potatoes. Hands down, phenomenal. Like, can't wait to eat it. My mother-in-law will also be making her stuffing. Now she makes a delicious like handmade stuffing where she, you know, tears the bread, lets it get stale. She makes it with sausage and then she'll make stuffing and dressing. So she'll put some stuffing in the turkey and then she'll make dressing for the side. So good. It's probably my husband's favorite part of Thanksgiving is the stuffing. And then I'm also going to be making a Brussels sprout salad. Now, when we lived in Las Vegas, we had family friends that came and would make that delicious sweet broccoli salad every year that had like the mayo and sugar dressing. So good with like craisins, I think, or was it regular raisins? I don't know, walnuts in it maybe. I don't remember. Red onion. So good. We had a version of that, but with Brussels sprouts. My neighbor made it for for our September supper club, and it was so good. You've probably seen it. It's pretty viral. It's got a Dijon mustard dressing and it's got like craisins and apples and red onion and Brussels sprouts, and make it ahead, let it sit for a day, and it is to die for. So I'm gonna be making that as well. And then one of the other guests coming is gonna be making like a cranberry jello. It's really good. It's like a creamy cranberry jello. Of course, cranberry sauce, of course, gravy. Those are, you know, to be expected. For desserts, my mother-in-law always makes fresh baked pumpkin pies with my boys, like down to, they get the pie pumpkins. She even grew them this year in her garden. So it's like as fresh as they come. I'm gonna be making the caramel apple cheesecake. And I also make chocolate covered strawberries every year. I think last year somebody brought a pumpkin cheesecake, and my mother-in-law typically makes an apple pie. I don't know if she's gonna make that this year though, since we're gonna have the caramel apple cheesecake, but we will see. And then I already talked to you about what we're drinking. So that is our food menu. Tell me down below what you guys are having in yours, because I'm so curious what everybody eats at their Thanksgiving meal. There's so many good recipes out there, and it's one of those holidays where like, I want to try something new, but then I'm like, oh, but I wanna stick to all the good stuff that I know is so yummy and I wanna eat that. So tell me how you are. I'm so curious what you guys make at your dinner. Okay, so the last thing we're gonna talk about today is serving dishes and how you're going to serve everything. So this is pretty important, and it's something that a lot of times people don't really think about or plan ahead, but you really need to, because you might need to shop. So for example, I didn't have anything to serve turkey on the first year that we had Thanksgiving. And so I purchased this gorgeous turkey platter. I shared this last year in like a Christmas shop with me. It's not wanting to focus, but it's got this beautiful turkey on it. This is from Hobby Lobby. I bought it last year. It's super heavy. It was $40, but I got it on sale for $20, and it's beautiful. Like I said, it's got this gorgeous turkey on it. Hopefully you can see that. And this is perfect. We just carve up the turkey. One side has the baked, one side has the, what's it called? The fried turkey. And this works out perfectly. It was damp from sitting here on my counter, so now my shirt is wet. That's a lot of fun. Okay, I changed my shirt because it's gonna take forever for that to dry, and that was just gonna look weird on camera. So another thing that I use every year is this giant charcuterie board. I showed you guys this. I shouldn't say I use it every year. I use it every time I host since purchasing it. I purchased it this summer. It's gigantic. It is from Hobby Lobby. I got it from the spring line. Want to say I paid maybe $20 for it, but it is such a great charcuterie board, and I'll be using this again for Thanksgiving. Also on the charcuterie board, you always need like little bowls and things like that. So last year, I picked these little leaf bowls up from Michael's. They're so very cute. They're small, just little tiny ceramic dishes, but these are great to hold hummus or cheese or cranberry salsa. So good. I also picked these up from the Hearth and Hand line last year, and these are great for your cranberry sauce, butter, that kind of thing. Also great for your charcuterie board. You can put nuts in it or whatever. And then I also have these little tiny chalkboards that you can write on and put like what, you know, what kind of cheese it is or what the salsa is or whatever. And you can put this, you know, into things. It's on this great little ring here. I think I got these from the Target Dollar Spot a few years ago, but they're wonderful. I love to use them. I also showed you in a recent haul that I picked up some new charcuterie knives. That's what these are. You can put these on your charcuterie board and they will help to spread cheese or, you know, jam or whatever, but these look really, really nice. I also have some from Target that I bought a year or so ago that I keep kind of on display. But these are, you know, similar thing. These are just silver, but really, really cute to help with your cheese. For your charcuterie board. Like I said, I keep mine on display here in my hutch because they're really cute. Nothing like functional decor. Some other ways to help elevate your food are using a butter cloche. So this is a butter cloche I picked up at Hobby Lobby last year. It's just your traditional cloche. You put butter in there, this goes on top, it keeps it nice and soft. It looks really pretty on the table. So this will go on the table. You can also purchase adorable, and I'm not kidding you when I say adorable. If I can find one before I edit this video, I'll put it here. But these adorable butter turkeys, you guys. These are so cute and would look adorable. I would love to get these like for the kids table. They're so cute. So it's another great way to kind of elevate your butter. When it comes to gravy, I've got this beautiful ceramic gravy dish or gravy boat that I picked up at, it's like not gonna focus because it's white and so bright. But I picked this up at Home Goods. I wanna say I paid maybe like $7 for it at the most, but if you're looking for gravy boats and you want something that's pretty but not super expensive, check your Home Goods, check your TJ Maxx, because that's where you can find them. I have another one as well that my sister-in-law bought me for Christmas. I have it up in my pantry, or up in my cabinet. That way we can have multiple of them on the table at once. Some new to me items this year are from Walmart. One is this pumpkin soup tureen. I showed this to you in a video, maybe a Sunday reset, but this is so, so, so gorgeous. It's like this really pretty kind of taupe color, and it's got the gorgeous lid. It has all of this beautiful like embossing on it, if you can see that. So pretty, you guys. I love this. My intention for this is to probably have the rolls in here because the things that I want to keep warm, I'm going to talk to you about that here in just a minute, but I think this would be good for rolls to keep those in here, or no, definitely rolls, because I also picked up the matching serving bowl that looks like this, also a pumpkin. It looks exactly the same, just doesn't have a lid. This is what I plan to put the Brussels sprout salad in, and I think this will just look really pretty against that butcher paper. Like, oh, it's gonna look gorgeous. The other thing too is on the butcher paper, I'll usually put like some eucalyptus stems and everything, just kind of laying down throughout with the candles, like just gorgeous. If I can find some shots from last year, I was so bad at taking pictures, but if I can find some, I'll show you. Now for dessert, I always set up my coffee bar as like the dessert bar. And one of the things I purchased last year was this really cute wood beaded, what's it called? Cake stand. The only thing I will say is that it's lopsided. If you can see this, it is full on lopsided. but it's fine. Nothing fell off of it. It is kind of stained on here. It looks like there's like, I don't know, crusties on here. I need to clean it before I use it, but my recommendation is to put down some kind of wax paper before using it. But it's really pretty and it looks really nice with a pie on it. So I have that over there. I also have my glass one from IKEA that's over there now with some donuts in it. And then the other one is this one here that I purchased this year from a local antique shop. Right now I have some of those pears in it, which are just kind of rolling around. They normally are like stacked in the middle, but this is really gorgeous, and I'll probably put some kind of pie on here as well. So just kind of elevating the pies, making them, you know, letting them have their own little moment, if you will, there on the table, because presentation does make a big difference and it can make anything just look a little bit elevated. So we'll do that. And let's talk now about chafing dishes. So if you don't know what a chafing dish is, this is it. It looks like one of these tins. That's a small one, but these are the larger ones. This is a chafing dish. And what happens is you have two of them. Right now I only have one, but water goes in the bottom one and then you put another one in it. And then you light these little burners called, what is this? Methanol, these little burners right here, if it will, there you go. You light that underneath and it heats the water, which in turn heats your pan. So this goes underneath. These I buy on Amazon, and I typically will wash these pans, but if you don't want to, you can just toss them and get new ones, you know, when you have another meal. But this is what I use, and I'm sure a ton of you use, to keep your food warm. So if it's, you know, the mashed potatoes or anything like that, like I said, there's two different sizes. These small ones, you can fit two in the large one, so like this, which is great for, you know, the ones that you don't need a ton for. So like the green bean casserole and the yams and that kind of thing will be fine in here. The other thing is that my mother-in-law has like a 3 small crock pot. It's like 3 small ones. It's an appetizer crock pot and you can put it on warm. So she brings that and we put like things in there as well. But chafing dishes are the way to go if you want to keep things warm so that people can keep coming back for more. And they're, like I said, they're really affordable. You can find them on Amazon. That's where I get mine. I'll link them for you down below. And then you can buy these tins at the Dollar Tree. And they're great because once this is gone, you can literally just toss it. I typically wash them because I can, and why not? But you don't have to. You can just throw them away and then it's done. So I think that that is everything that I wanted to share with you for our plan for Thanksgiving dinner. I shared with you in the tablescape video our cups, our wine glasses, all of that good stuff, decor pieces. So hopefully you have got a good plan for what you're gonna do. I also shared last year's Thanksgiving marathon video, well, last year's videos in marathon form this year that talk a lot too about what our kind of activity plans are. I always try to have activities out for kiddos and for family to do while you're finishing cooking or in between dinner and dessert. So check that out. I hate for people to feel like, okay, I ate, now I'm rushing away. Stay and hang out and let's play a game, let's chat, let's look at old pictures, let's watch a movie, like whatever. I love to have people hang out. So I try not to rush people out of my house when we're done eating. And in that other video, I talked to you about some of those activities. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video. I chatted a lot. This is gonna be a long video, but hopefully you're here for it. If you stayed this long, give me a turkey emoji down in the comments and I will pick one of you, whoever left a turkey. Leave me a turkey down in the comments below and I will pick one of you to win a $50 Target gift card. So Until the next one, my friends, I hope you guys are having a lovely, lovely Thanksgiving holiday. This has been such a glorious month. I've been enjoying it so much. And as much as I'm looking forward to Christmas, I'm sad to see the fall go. It's such a fleeting time and I'm loving it so much. So until the next video, my friends, I hope you guys take wonderful care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll see you soon.